Hello. Hello. Oh, just had my dinner, stuffed and guffed. Hello, everyone. So, business suite. Oh, that's a nice picture. I've not seen that picture for a while. Hello. Who have we got in the room? Hello, Anna. How are you? First in. Come on in. Help yourself to nibbles. Sit down. Get the fire on. All of that. All of the above. All of the above. Let me open my business suite so I can keep an eye on your comments. Because I've got my glasses on at the moment, so I can't see a thing. Make sure that volume's down. Make sure I've got battery. There I am. Need to see comments. Okay, there you go. Hello, good evening. How are you? Now, do I have my headphones connected to that, or do I have it connected to my phone? I've got it connected to at the moment. Hello, everyone. Oh, Aurora Watch. Let's see. Alert. Amber alert. Apparently, the Northern Lights were all over the UK last night at around about 1:30. I missed it. I went to bed at midnight, so unfortunately I missed it. But I've got a feeling in my water that they're going to come back tonight. So do keep your eyes out on the night sky. It could be later on tonight. If they come out before, I don't know, 11 o'clock tonight, I'll let you know. I'll put something on my, oh, I can see you now. I'll put something on my Facebook so you can all see. Hello, Katie, peddling as usual. Great, lovely to see you. Hello, Helen. Nice to Helen. Hi, Helen. Nice to see you as well. That light's bugging me. I'm just going to move this light. I can do. It's my life. I can do what I want. There you go. Oh, I've had a busy day. I've had a busy day again. I've been doing lots today, actually. So there's lots to tell you. First of all, for those of you in the room, oh God, look at my bum. I've just seen what I did on my laptop. I do apologise for that. I hope I didn't show you anything else. Right. What am I talking about? What did I do? Craft store. So off I went to the craft store yesterday, which was lovely. Lovely to see Dan. Lovely to see Sarah Payne. Lovely to see Princess Pinflair, which is Christine, of course, and Nigel, her husband. And it was lovely to see Sandra Rushton as well with Sandtangle. If you've not seen Sandtangle, go and check it out. I know they're on Hobby Maker, but please go and check the website out. I drew a dragonfly. Keep yourselves entertained. I'm going to go and get it. I know you can hear me. I'm going to go through a door, come through the other door, grab. It's all right, Millie. It's all right, Millie. Just getting that. Life with a Jack Russell. As soon as you open the door. All right, Millie. Right, I'm coming back. I'm going to get organised. I'm going to turn this light off. You can tell I've had a busy day. I'm coming back. Don't worry. Right, I'm back. Okay, so Sandtangle on the craft store. Evening, Nikki. How are you? There you go. Look what I did. I could not believe that. I thought that was really nice, and that's using the templates in Sandtangle. I thought that was really nice. I did that. So I was well chuffed with that. So I had a really good day. And yeah, it was nice to do the shows, which was good. I was there from 10 a.m. all the way through until 4, and then I drove home. And did I have a Facebook Live last night? Oh, one day goes into the next. What was it? Tuesday? Did I? I can't remember. Can't even remember I can't remember what I was doing 2 hours ago. Anyway, I do know what I'm doing now, and we're going to have the lovely Rebecca Cole come on live. It's going to be really interesting to talk to Rebecca, and she will talk to you about what she does. But she is the sensory sewer. So it's going to be really interesting. If you've got any questions, we'd love to have your questions on board, which is great. This is 8 o'clock at night, by the way, if you didn't know. We do some Facebooks at 7 o'clock, and we do some Facebooks at 8 o'clock at night. It all depends on the guest, but hopefully I'll let you know exactly when we're going to go live. Hello, Nitwins. How are you? Hello, Linda. I hope you're well. So we're just waiting for Rebecca to arrive. Not here yet, but when she is, She might be on my other Facebook actually. I'm going to send her a message. Um, when she comes along, we'll get her on. So if I just come out of that and go into my messages, this is how I can communicate with people. Let's see who's there. Where is she? We've got. I tell you who we've got on next week. We've got Abigail Byrne on next week, and Abigail has just released a book. It's all about prepping your food and freezing it, and having meals ready to go. So do go and check that book out. I know it's on Amazon. I think it was number 2 on Amazon. She only just released it yesterday, which was amazing, amazing. She's done so well, so well. So Abigail is coming on tomorrow. So it'd be lovely to see her. I'm just checking the chat and seeing if. Oh, hang on, there she was. Rebecca. Becky Cole. It's Becky Cole, not Rebecca. I did put Rebecca Cole on there. Okay, Becky. If I can spell it, what the hecky? Do you know what? I think I'm in my. There we go. Becca. Hi. I've been looking down there, so I don't know if she's come in the room. Hi, are you ready for the live? I am on Janice Phillips. Don't know why I'm singing live. There you go. So we'll find out, and hopefully she'll be joining us soon. So what I've been up to. Um, I've been sorting out my stamps, so I've got some exciting news coming about that. I'm going to feature in a magazine in May, so I have been putting together some samples and a little bit of copy, and I've sent that off. The deadline's done, and that's going to be coming out in May. If you want to have a look at my stamps, it's timestampcreations.com, so that's the website to go to. I have got 5x7 postcards on there as well, which is brilliant. So you can colour them in, or you can leave them black and white fat. I'm gonna. I won't say what the message is. I won't say what the message is from Becky. I'll edit it. She says, "Oh dear, oh dear, I totally lost track of time coming now." Okay, that's fine. Let me show you one of the postcards that's in a frame. Okay, so I've got my stamps, timestampcreations.com. In fact, I've got all the paraphernalia behind me just there, look. So I might be doing a live tomorrow. And that's also from when I've put together the cards. But that's one of the postcards, and I've just put it in a frame. This frame I got from the range. It was only a couple of quid, and I put the postcard in there. But it was kind of cool, doesn't it, as a monochrome? So they are available to buy on my website, timestampcreations.com, and they're in landscape and portrait, and they're all different designs. So timestampcreations.com. Becky, how do you get on? Go to the live and watch. Have your phone. I'm just telling you guys what I'm telling Becky. Not your phone in portrait. And when I see you, I will tell you how to get on. So hopefully she'll be on here soon. We've got Karen. Hello, Karen. I hope you're well. Sandy Smith is watching as well. Nice to have your company as well. Remember, you can watch these afterwards. These are going to be available on Facebook now for 30 days, so that's changed. But that's okay. You're not really going to want to watch anything longer than 30 days. So it'll be on Facebook for 30 days, and I'm also going to put them on to YouTube as well, which is Janice Phillips Live. So I'll be sorting that out tomorrow. Like I say, it's been a busy day today. Kamaljeet is watching. Hello to you. I hope you're well. Hopefully Becky will be here soon. Yay, there she is. Becky Cole, Century Sower. I'm here. Don't be sorry. It's absolutely fine, Becky. Right, down the bottom of the screen, Becky, you should see some icons, and one of them has got 2 little people. If you tap on that, then that should send like an invite to me, and I send an invite to you. So look at the bottom. I'm just sending you this message because I know you're watching as well. Bottom of screen for an icon with 2 people. this is what we love about Facebook Lives. It's raw, it's organic. Okay. So, right, Becky, if you are on, down the bottom of the screen, you should be able to see an icon. I could take a picture of it and send it to you in Messenger, but it should be there, bottom of the screen. There you go. Okay, let's tap on that. And let's tap on that. Let's send the invitation. Hopefully we can get... I breathe. I had jacket potato and beans and cheese and broccoli, so I'm like full to my skull. Here she is.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, it's a bit crazy here. I apologise.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine. We are currently converting our garage into a flat for my father-in-law to live in, and it is utter chaos.
Bless you.
Utter chaos. So I apologise.
Don't apologise. Don't apologise. It's absolutely fine. Bless you. I know what it's like. We had an extension built once, and it was we were washing the pots and ourselves in the bath. We had a microwave on a fridge in the living room and just a chair to sit on. So that and that was like 2 months. So I get it. You know, it's a bit chaotic like that, isn't it? But how are you, my lovely?
I'm all right. Things are all right, I think. Finally.
Are you wearing your new glasses?
I've had them for 2 years. It's really funny. That was a memory that came up that I shared. Yeah. And everyone went, "Oh, they look really nice." I was like, "I've been wearing them for 2 years, but thanks for noticing."
Yeah, just take the compliments too. Yeah, thanks for noticing. Take the
they still suit me. That's good.
Yeah, they do. They really do. So that's good that you're okay. Yeah. So for the people that are in the room at the moment that they might not have seen you, how can they not? But they might not have done, or might need a little bit of a refresher on you, because you've kind of developed over time, haven't you, into what you have now become, into what now you support.
Yeah.
Which is your sensory sewing and people with neurodivergent, different aspects to their life. So let's just talk about that. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Becky. Who are you?
So I am mainly a dressmaker. I'm a trained pattern cutter for period costume for film and television. So if you need a little crinoline, I'm your gal.
What's that? What's a crinoline?
A crinoline, it's the the big hoop skirts that Victorian ladies wore under their dresses.
Nice.
Yes. So yeah, that's what I'm trained in, and sort of went into TV costume for a while. Came out of that basically. Well, at the time, I used the excuse that I wanted kids and I didn't want to work all the hours. The truth was I was massively burnt out, because no matter how hard I tried, I kept getting jobs and I was very good at my job, and then I would not be asked back again. Even if I was really good at my job. So I started to just get really disheartened with it, and it was like, I don't really know what I'm doing wrong. It was a very schmoozy, who you know, not what you know industry.
Yeah. I get that.
So I was like, I'm not having any of this anymore. So I thought, right, I've got all these skills. So I started making wedding dresses from home, so that when the kids were very small, I could be at home. And I did that for quite a long time. And that was great fun.
I think that was I would say quite difficult, because I'm not anywhere near your standard of sewing. But was that, you had your period costume background of cutting out period costumes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But to make wedding dresses, that's a lot of pressure, because I take it people told you what they wanted and then you made it for them.
Yes. Yeah. Luckily I sort of had a system that, I was very clear from the start. We had several fittings, and there'd be a toile fitting, which is where you make the pattern and then you make it out of fabric, and then like just naff whatever you got lying around.
Yeah.
And you kind of, and in fact, I'm doing a little project. This is a toile.
A toile?
A toile. It's a mock-up.
Oh, I thought you meant you make the dress and then you have the twirl where they actually come put it on and twirl around.
No, it's a French word. I think I
Okay.
don't know what it means.
Patois.
But yeah, so this is a little teddy. I can't show you it properly because it's a thing that I'm making for Love Sewing magazine.
Okay.
It's a little teddy.
Yeah.
And I've made it out of. I've got like a suedette that I'm going to make it out of, but I've made it out of just an old sheet. That's the third version to try and get it right.
Yeah.
So you sort of do that all the way through, and at every point, the bride or whoever it is that's wearing the outfit, because I did mother of the bride, I did bridesmaids, I did all sorts of things. You know, they've got the opportunity to say, actually prefer this, or can we make this a bit bigger, or this a bit, you know, lower, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad, actually. I sort of thrive in an environment where I'm the expert in the room, and in that room I was the expert. So
Yes.
that sort of helps.
That's good.
Yeah, so did that for quite a long time. And then ended up on Crate and Craft.
Yeah, how did you end up? And this was back at Newark Road, Crate and
This was
Craft.
back at Newark Road.
How long ago was that?
That was so January 2018.
That was when I started. That was when. So I January 2018. Did
Yes.
you say? So I just left to go over to Hochanda, and you. So it was like that. Hang on, like that.
We passed like ships in the night.
And then you came in. Oh, look at that.
I came in through. They did a sort of big recruitment drive, and it was myself, Hannah Stone, Carla Bagshaw. Who else came through? Helen came through.
Helen
quite a few of. So you know, it was quite a successful thing. But, you know, we're all still really good friends now. So
that is brilliant.
Yeah, so that was good. And obviously, you know, been there. How long was I there? When was probably 7 years? Is that?
I think it was until Hochanda Craft Store took over Crate and Craft.
No. I kind of didn't count the merger. I'm sort of just counting it all as one.
All the way through. Yeah.
Till the demise last year.
I was back there yesterday.
Oh, really?
I went to the craft store. Yeah.
I've got to speak to them. I haven't spoken to Hayley either. So
yeah, give. I think Hayley's looking after all the sewing
soft
side.
craft.
Yeah, give her a call. If not, go through Dan, and then Dan will get the message to Hayley, and Hayley will get the message to you. I'm sure they'll sort something out.
Yes.
So yeah, all the way through. Now
way through.
I mean, that's an interesting story about you know, you designing wedding dresses. That really is, and it's great. It's great training. It really is. But you've also gone on a personal journey that you've brought into your professional life as well, which the two fit really, really well, don't they?
Yeah. Well, this is why I kind of brought up the bit about leaving the television industry, and why I sort of kept trying really hard and never being asked back, because that's been a bit of a repeating story my whole life. I've sort of been. I'm very good at what I do. I'm very skilled at what I do. Yeah. However, there was always something missing in that sort of person connection, that people connection, and I never knew what it was. And I just thought, well, obviously there's something wrong with me, because whatever the secret is, I don't get it.
Was it because that you didn't? I'm not going to say you didn't get on, because that's not the case. Was it like the socializing with people that you weren't comfortable with? Was it the fact that you didn't want to get involved with people? You just wanted to go in and do your job?
I don't know.
And there was no.
I don't know. I thought I was a friendly enough person.
Yeah, you are. You are, absolutely.
No, I don't know. I didn't know. I could never kind of put my finger on it, and I still can't, because if I could, then I'd know, because I still haven't got any of those skills.
Do you mean skills to be round people?
Just the sort of, there is so basically we sort of jumped ahead. I should explain for people who don't understand what the hell I'm talking about. Last year it was, after 3 years of waiting, I was diagnosed autistic ADHD and Erlen syndrome, thus the glasses.
Okay.
All of those came.
What's that syndrome? Can you explain that to us?
So Erlen syndrome is it's very commonly misdiagnosed as dyslexia.
Okay.
If dyslexia is corrected with colour, it is actually Erlen syndrome or visual stress. So if you go through the NHS, they call it visual stress.
Okay.
The Erlen Institute call it Erlen syndrome. It's the same thing. And what it is it's slightly different to dyslexia. Dyslexics see the world in 3D.
Yep.
their brain processes and they sort of see all dimensions at the same time, which is why you can end up flipping letters around. Irlen syndrome or visual stress is about how the brain processes contrast.
Right.
So very bright lights. What the way I got diagnosed with that was purely I was starting to find night driving really difficult, and somebody said, oh, you should look into Irlen syndrome, and I was like, what the hell's that? And I filled in this tick list of, you know, screening, should I have, and it was 60 questions, and I ticked them all, and I ticked yes to 54 of them. And I sent it off and I said, should I have a test? And she came back and said, well, you only have to tick 7 to qualify for a test. Okay. And I ticked 54 of them. So yeah, it's just about how the brain processes contrast. So I have colour lenses, yep, which filter everything. I have colour filters on my phone, on my laptop. Yep. And like I can use coloured paper rather than white paper. Yeah. Yeah. So when I'm reading, I get a halo around the words.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they're backlit, or they call it rivers, where the sort of the white gaps between the words sort of stand out better, more than the words.
Yeah, I really get that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And it kind of creates, it would create like a river, like a pattern. Yeah. Like
there's
almost
all sorts of things. You can get whirls and you know, fuzzies and all sorts of different things. And once you kind of look into it, and of course I just thought that's how everybody saw, you know, I didn't think there was any problem. So that's what Irlen syndrome is. Okay. And I had all of those 3 diagnoses in the space of 3 years. I went from not understanding myself to having this huge understanding of who I am. So that's why it's the autistic side that struggles with the connection. So I mean, I was at the NEC last week before.
It was last week, yeah. I know,
was it last week?
I think it was, yeah.
And luckily my husband comes with me, because I will just stand there and wait for people to talk to me. He said, no, you've got to get out there and talk to people and get them. I was like, I just don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do that. Once people start, you know, engaging, and that's fine. It's the initial. Yeah. So, I mean, so that's why sort of socially I've struggled, shall we say. Anyway, so now I've got this great understanding of who I am. And the first thing I did was go, I can sew. I'm not going to wear any rubbish clothes ever again that I hate and feel really uncomfortable. Cleared out my wardrobe, and all I was left with was leggings, hoodies, strappy tops. Okay. That was it, which is great, as long as you aren't going to a wedding or doing a show on Cranecraft or any of those things. So started to adapt other clothes. Like I had pieces of clothing that I loved, but they just didn't feel right. So applying my skills to adapting them. So putting elasticated waistbands on everything, for example. Yes. Jeans that I already owned, take the waistband off, put an elasticated waistband on. And that grew and grew. So I did a Channel 4 show called Unique Boutique, which I thoroughly recommend everyone watch. It's still on All 4. Okay. Have a box of tissues, because it's very sad, very emotional. Okay. It's not sad, sorry, it's emotive. Yes. And that was a bit like the repair shop, but we were making clothes. We had people with disabilities coming in, and neurodivergencies as well, but also just general body differences. And they would need a outfit for a wedding or whatever it was, and we would create an outfit for them. And it really opened my eyes to the power of adaptive clothing. I knew the difference it was making to me, but I'm not a wheelchair user. I don't have a stoma. I don't have a limb difference. I'm not wearing a prosthetic, or I'm not blind or deaf. You know, so it really opened up my eyes to the power of clothing that works for everyone else. I've got lots of friends that create adaptive ready-to-wear clothing. In fact, have you seen Primark have just launched their new adaptive range? They have. They have been working with my very good friend Victoria Jenkins, who I met on that show, and she's actually written the foreword on my book, in my book. Fantastic. So she does ready-made fashion. So I thought, right, I want to do something to help people who've got the clothes already. They just want to adapt them.
think that's wonderful.
And that's
And
where the
it's really,
book came from.
and do you know what? I just think it's so important because the fashion industry, you know, it's the same as sizes, for example. Not all size 10 are a size 10, not all 16 are a size 16, not all 12 are a size 12. Not all people that are a size 12 have the perfect bust to match the perfect waist, to match the perfect thighs, for example. You go and buy a pair of jeans, they might fit you here, but they don't fit you there. And then you've got the other side of it where people need that adaptive clothing, and fashion industry is just like, oh, whatever. And they just put things out, and then people have to take that clothing and adapt it, and it costs more money. So I think it's brilliant that Primark have got a range coming out. Yeah. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
And your book as well, does that help people adapt clothing? Have you got different patterns? That is a person behind you, isn't it?
Hello. Yes, they will. That's my father-in-law.
Hello. I was just a bit worried then. I was like, who's that?
I kind of shouted at him and went, when the buzzer goes on the cooker, just turn everything off.
Oh no, are you in the middle of your dinner?
That's fine. He's dealing with it now.
I love it.
I love it. Offloaded.
Excellent. So your book tells people and educates. Have you got one there?
Yes, I have. Okay. I was just going to grab one. There you are.
Excellent.
That's the book.
All access selling.
So there are 15 projects in here on taking clothes that you already own. Everything in here I bought in a charity shop. So it was a ready-made garment that I've adapted. So for example, putting zips into waists of, that's a dress. Like
for a stoma bag.
Yeah. So if you have a stoma or a feeding tube, or if you have an insulin pump, anything like that, where you need access.
Yes. Very
good. So the projects are split into 3 different groups. So there's access, which is where you need to access parts of your body. So that's an example of an access one. I'll show you, this was the one that was Martin Parker's favourite, which is putting openings in sleeves. So because of his wife's journey with cancer,
with chemotherapy
and chemo and everything else, having these openings so you can access PICC lines without having to strip off in hospitals, basically.
Good.
You've then got adjustment. So these are things like how to shorten sleeves. So this is for somebody with a limb difference. However, I wanted a book, so accessibility is key with this. So it's not just for people with disabilities or neurodivergencies or anything else. You don't. The technique, the project to do this is exactly the same as if you were to just take up a sleeve.
Okay.
It's the same process. There's one in here for leveling a seated hem. So if you're a wheelchair user and you want to wear a skirt, the hem's going to be longer at the back and shorter at the front. So this is how to level it off. So when you're seated, it's level.
Oh, that's very good.
However, this process is the same if you're an ambulatory person and you just need to shorten a skirt.
Yeah.
So the projects I've used them in a way that works for accessible clothing. However, they can be utilised in any way. And then the last part is the comfort one. So there's my stretch waistband.
Oh, that is a good comfort one, isn't it?
There are interviews in here. There's how to source an accessible sewing machine, what tools to have in your sewing kit, how to set out your sewing room. You'll have to excuse me.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what happened?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah. Is it going to make me feel icky?
I have been sewing for 36 years, okay?
Oh, no.
Today, I sewed through my finger for the first time.
Oh, no.
It doesn't even hurt, honestly.
Oh, no.
Really? It was awful. Yeah, it wasn't good. I had to call my daughter down to get me some scissors because I'd literally sewn myself to the machine.
Gosh. Well, I suppose you didn't need to go to the hospital because you put your stitches in as you went along.
Yeah.
Well, that's awful. Are you okay?
I'm absolutely fine. It honestly doesn't even hurt. I've sort of put this big bandage on it, which sort of feels a bit...
That's probably because you've severed through your nerves. No, you're okay. You're okay.
I'm absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine.
Oh, it's made me go a little bit... Ooh.
Sorry.
Oh, dear. Now, there's a couple of people that are saying their Facebook live is freezing. Katie Newport said that, but everything's fine coming out of our side. Nothing's frozen here yet. Yeah, so if it's freezing, it might be an issue with your internet your end, but nothing's frozen here. Is anything frozen for you apart from your dinner and you defrosting it? Now Alan's got a question here. Oh, Matthew Palmer's watching as well. Hello, Matthew Palmer.
Hello.
Hello. Right, let's see. Alan says, hi, Janice. Question, how do I sew a waistcoat as I'm having some difficulties? Can you help? A waistcoat. Can you give any tips to Alan?
Well, it depends on what the difficulty is.
Yeah. Alan, what's the difficulty? Is it the shape? Is it the back? Let us know what that's a very good question. You see, I didn't think of that. I'm just like, come on then, Becca. Tell us. Come on.
I mean, I can tell you how to make a waistcoat, but it might not be the actual answer. We'll be here for 3 hours.
Yeah, no, we do need to know what your issue is, and then we can help you out. Dominic says, I'm quite an expert at shortening sleeves and trousers, being under 5 foot. Yeah, I guess it doesn't always have to be about, limb access. It could be just the very fact that we're different. We're all different shapes and sizes, and clothing can make you feel very uncomfortable as it can make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, literally, I wrote on the blurb on the back of the book, if you are a chronically ill person or a disabled person, poor clothing can actually make you more ill and more disabled and more unwell.
I get that.
And just, it's, how rubbish is it that, you just can't find clothes to fit you?
Yeah, it's rubbish. It is rubbish. Whether it's awful.
Regardless of your life situation, like, if you're 5 foot, you're going to be needing to turn everything up, And actually, one of my big autistic strengths is if I have a problem, I have to find a solution.
Yeah.
I can't leave it to somebody else to solve my problem for me. I just absolutely have to take matters into my own hands. And that's one of the things that I think is so important about sewing. And one of the motivations for the book is, if you know how to sew, firstly, that is an apocalyptic survival skill, right? When the zombies attack, we're going to be all right because we can sew. We've got a valuable skill.
Right, I'm getting my sewing machine out tomorrow. I'm going to make sure I can sew inside out, zips, all sorts of things. Because
get practicing.
It's going to happen soon, It will happen soon. I don't want to scare anyone, but all movies come true. Anyway.
Yes, but so it is a really important skill to have. It's a bit like being able to change your own tire or cook your own food or, do your own tax return. Those kinds of skills, you're not relying on the fashion industry to serve you, because they're never going to. They're always going to do the generic thing because that's what makes the money.
That's what sells to that shop, sells to that shop, sells to that shop, sells online. So they're not going to do anything different.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because the reality is nobody is a standard normal size. And the fashion industry has got very clever at going, well, this is what the standard normal size is. And actually, if you don't fit that, you're the problem, because my garment's fine.
Yes.
Look at all the thousands I'm selling.
Yes.
So to be able to say, actually, no, I'm not going to accept that. I want clothes that make me feel good and make me feel comfortable and allow me to be able to do what I want to do. I think that's so empowering. Now, 80% of people who have disabled people inherit their disability or develop their disability during their lifetime. Literally only 17% of people are born with a disability. So that means that the majority of disabled people were living life, but then one day something happened and their life is completely different. And suddenly they're facing, huge differences. And one of those things could be, getting yourself dressed. I've actually started, I'm now slowly expanding the range, and I'm now going into the fastenings and things that I'm sourcing. Magnetic buttons.
Yeah. Good idea. Very good idea.
So, imagine suddenly overnight you can't dress yourself. You can't manage your own buttons. You can't do any of this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And just that simple thing of just putting in those magnets. Don't use them if you have a pacemaker. Put those magnets in, and suddenly you've given somebody back the gift of independence.
It's very good. It's very good.
It's such an empowering skill to have, and that's why I think I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very good that you are. Zoe has messaged. She said, Please can you tell me the title of the book, as I'm a severely sight impaired and a full-time wheelchair user. My sister likes to try and make things easier, like elasticated waistbands and shorter sleeves, to stop me putting holes in the sleeves from the friction from the wheelchair manual, from wheeling a manual wheelchair. That's really important, of course, because sleeves come down to here. If you've got your wheelchair, of course it's going to cause friction. That's another very, very good thing. So the title of the book again, and where we can get hold of it.
So it's called All Access Sewing.
Yes.
You can get it on my website, which is allaccesssewing.com.
Okay, brilliant. So hopefully, Zoe, that's answered your question. And if Zoe's sister can make those alterations for her, I think that'll be absolutely fantastic.
Well, you can also watch this space, because by the end of the year, I plan to launch my first ever pattern range, which is a huge goal of mine, including garments designed for wheelchair users. Because clothing, the body changes when you're seated. So your measurements are different. How clothes that sit on your body are different when you're seated. So it's a whole, each style is adapted to be worn either seated or standing. So keep tuned, because I'm incredibly excited.
Do you know what? It's so interesting. Just little things like that. The fact, you're right. Your body does change when you sit down. So therefore, if you are in a wheelchair, or you spend most of your time in a mobility vehicle or something like that, and you go to the shops to buy clothes, it's just one standard fit. There you go. And fashion industries, apart from Primark now, because they're doing something about it, and your good self with your book, they don't think about things. And I just think it's so important. And I can't believe that when you think about it, when it must be, I don't know, 15, more than 15 years ago, probably 20 years ago, but it's still only a short period of time, that councils and shops had to put out a thing to all the shops so that they could make their upstairs accessible to people in wheelchairs or with difficulty climbing stairs, and I remember at the time, some shop owners were going, oh, it's going to cost us loads of money. And I'm like, how can you say that? All this time you've had, maybe an upstairs, but you've had no lift to get there, no escalator, no way of anybody with any mobility to get to that part of your shop. I mean, how rude is that, really, when you think about it?
Well, I think what businesses are really, really missing out on is something called the purple pound. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. It is worth trillions of pounds worldwide, and it is basically the spending power of the disabled community.
Like the pink pound is the spending power of the gay community. The purple pound, I've not heard of the purple pound. That's really interesting. It's a very good point. Very good point.
And the disabled community are not a small community either. When I first came up with the idea of my book idea, I did approach several traditional printers, and I got told it was too niche. Nobody would be interested.
Really?
It got to #1 on Amazon in dressmaking. Just saying. But I self-published because, again, I'm like, right, well, if you don't get my vision, I'm doing it myself.
Yeah, good.
It's this thing again of just doing it myself. I don't care. And, if you added up how many disabled people there were in the world and neurodivergent people in the world, so we're not even thinking about people who have body differences, so maybe very large bust or short legs or long torso or whatever it is, just the disabled and neurodivergent community, it is the population of Russia. Could you imagine saying to any business, you cannot sell to anyone in Russia? They'd absolutely flat point refuse, because it's a huge market. And there are so many companies now that are missing out massively on the purple pound, which is the equivalent of refusing to sell to Russia. So, I think companies really need to wake up, because also what you'll find is, as a community, we're so used to being brushed off and told our needs aren't important, that if somebody actually goes, no, your needs are really important, so I'm going to do something about it, brand loyalty, you will have a customer for life because you made a difference to that person.
They already do it for able-bodied people. They already go, hey, look at this, we've got these nice little slinky tops for you that are all the fashion. They're already doing it for that community. Why can't they do it, like you say, for the purple pound community?
They're missing out on a quarter of the British population.
That's just not right. It's not right. And I hope things change slowly but surely they are. But from help with people like you, passion from people like you, who are writing books, getting out there, being vocal about it. And if you can't be vocal because that might be your disability, writing about it. And if you can't write about it because that's your disability, that they're still getting the message out somehow, and that's their superpowers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wish we lived in a world where we didn't have to do that. We didn't have to, like, hello, look at me. We didn't have to, whether it be gay issues and gay marriages, for example, or able-bodied people being able to do what everybody should be able to do. You know, access for everybody.
Well, that's what accessibility really means. And this is my big thing. My big thing is I want accessibility in everything. And people think accessibility means putting a ramp in for a disabled person. That's not what accessibility means. Accessibility means everybody has fair access to that thing or that place or that whatever, that job, that and there was a very good little story that I once read that really kind of drove this home for me. And this is why I've called my book The Ramp of Sewing Books, right? So little boy in a wheelchair goes to school and it snowed overnight. And he gets to school and the caretaker is sweeping the snow off the steps of the school. And the little boy wheels up to the caretaker and says, "Excuse me, caretaker, would you mind clearing the ramp for me?" And he says, "I'll do that in a minute. I'm just going to do the steps and then I'll do the ramp." And the little boy turns to him and says, "But if you do the ramp, everyone can get into school."
Very good.
And that's accessibility. It's not about it is making the world accessible for disabled people, but it's everything that I produce can be used by disabled and able-bodied.
I think that's great. A lot of house builders now have to put light switches lower because everybody can get to them then, and it's important.
Exactly.
The house that we've got here, they've made the, here's another thing, when people build houses, you've got the blue bricks at the bottom and then you've got the red bricks and then you've got your doorstep. It's a doorstep. How can, if they don't have the doorstep, and ours doesn't, ours just goes straight from, it goes down a little bit so no water can come in when it rains. But there's no step, it's just flat to go straight in. So if somebody were to come in here who wasn't able-bodied or they're in a wheelchair, straight in. So the world is changing small, but we need to probably build more awareness.
Another example, another really good real life example of accessibility, I've created a stretch ruler because there's so many of my projects that use stretch, but there's so much maths involved. So I've created a maths-free stretch ruler, no maths needed.
How's that work?
So the ruler itself, I've got one that I can show you. Bear with.
Okay. It freezed a little bit then, didn't it? But not so much. Hopefully no one's having that issue of freezing. I'm just watching it here on my iPad. Okay, off you go.
That's the stretch ruler. Okay. So the only numbers on it are percentages. So you just have to put the fabric on it and stretch it, and it tells you the percentage of stretch without needing to do any maths. And then on here I've got these tables on my website, so you work out how, say your waistband is 45 centimeters and you've got some fabric that is 20% stretch, you go down, you've got to cut your waistband to 36 centimeters.
Very good.
So it's basically dyslexia, dyscalculia friendly, anybody who can't do maths, hates maths, everything else friendly, right? Had that at the NEC, and a lady came up and I was talking to her about it, and she said, "Well, I don't need that, I've got a maths degree." And I said, "Well, that's brilliant, that's great that you've got a maths degree so you can do the maths, however you can still use the ruler." That's accessibility. You can still use the ruler.
Exactly.
If you haven't got a maths degree and you have a disability or difficulty with numbers, you can't use traditional stretch fabric methods. you can use the ruler. So this is the whole accessibility. Everything that I create has everyone in mind.
It's not, I love that. I think that's terrific. So if people buy your book, it doesn't mean to say that they're buying because they are I don't like to use the word disabled. I don't like that at all.
You should use it. The disabled community have no problem with people talking about it.
Yeah, I just don't like the disabled, you know, it's just, they're just abled in different ways. But if that's okay, that's what I'm going to use.
Do you know what? I think the reason why, I mean, I don't know, I'm not speaking for everyone else, I'm speaking for myself. One of the things, I have no issue describing myself as a disabled person, right? But the thing that disables me isn't the autism, ADHD and Allen syndrome. A person in a wheelchair, the wheelchair isn't the thing that disables them, it's the environment around them. If I'm in an environment where I have accommodations and it works for me and my brain, I am on fire. I'm not disabled in any way. However, you stick me, well, I went to my daughter's first dance competition and the music was so incredibly loud. I had my loops, I had my ear defenders, the lights were really bright, and in the end I had to leave. I couldn't sit in the room anymore. I was disabled in that environment because of my environment. You know, so a person is usually disabled by their environment.
Very good way of putting it. Very good way. No wonder you've written a book. It's interesting. It's so interesting, and it's just really great that we can we can keep getting the message across, get people talking about it, whether it be just, you know, passing on the stories that you've told tonight, or talking about, you know, the environment disabling a person rather than a person being disabled. I think that's really good, and I think the more people that can talk about it and the more people that can spread that word, hopefully the better it's going to get. Are you seeing that it's getting better?
I think things are slowly getting better. I think social media has done an awful lot. We've got far more advocates. I don't think, because both of my children are now diagnosed as well, I don't think any of us would be diagnosed if it wasn't for social media. Because I grew up I've been autistic my entire life, but I grew up in the 90s where it wasn't a thing girls got. Apparently, I'm so ADHD that I'm on pretty much the maximum dose of medication you can get. And it was so strong that they almost couldn't see the autism in me. And ADHD was a thing caused by E-numbers, and naughty little boys had it. You know, that was the message we grew up with. We never saw what it looked like in girls. It looked like in women. It wasn't a thing that adults had. Apparently at the age of 18 you were magically cured. You know, so if it wasn't for people online sharing their experiences, I wouldn't know about Allen syndrome if it wasn't for social media. So I think it's a really powerful tool to just and really just people sharing their own message, because you never know who you're going to connect with.
Keep talking, keep sharing, and keep exposing yourself, as it were, to the world,
and
because
it helps
it's important.
You to own it as well. You know, people said, why do you want a label? And I was like, because I've already labeled myself weird, unlovable human failing at life. I'd prefer that label, please, because that label is a medical label and helps me understand why I struggle with certain things, and you know, and so it can be very empowering. But I think when you share your story with the hope of helping others, it helps you to love that thing about yourself as well.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And just becomes your superpower, and then you can build extensions.
I'm not doing it. Some very good builders are.
Becky, I can talk to you all night, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go, because I can hear pots clattering in the background, which means your dinner's on the table, and they're probably thinking, what do we do with mums? I don't know. You go and ask. I'm not going to go and ask. She's on her live. I don't know.
So I haven't even noticed I've gone.
Of course they have. Of course they have. Listen, we don't want your dinner to be in the dog. We don't want it to be in the oven. We want it to be in your tummy. So you're going to have to come on again, I'm afraid.
That's fine. Anytime. And I'll try and be on time that time.
Listen,
ADHD.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. When you're ADHD, you're late. And it doesn't
time
matter.
means nothing.
Exactly, because you've got got things to do and your day's filled with stuff. So,
Absolutely.
you know, never blame an ADHDer for being late. Just be thankful that they've arrived, I think
Yeah,
is the best
exactly.
way to look at that. That's my excuse, and that's how I'm going to go for it. So
Yeah.
Becky, thank you so much. We
Thank
can get your
you.
book online. Where can we find you online? Let's tell
I'm
everybody where.
Becky Cole Sensory Sewer on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
And I've also got if anyone's sort of resonating with what I'm talking about, I do have a Facebook community called the All Access Society.
Very good.
I'll show you the picture so you can see how it's spelled, because it's on all of the books.
That's backwards, but
link,
that's
right?
fine. That's
all right.
Yeah.
So you're very welcome to come along and join us there. It's just a big group of like-minded people. And in fact, I put a call out the other day for pattern testers. So if anyone is a disabled person who uses a wheelchair and fancies being a pattern tester for me, then great.
Excellent. And you must share pictures of your extension as well, because I'm so eager to see what it's going to look like.
Absolutely.
Becky, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'll be in touch, and we're going to get you on again because we've got so much to talk about. It's fabulous.
Thank you so much.
All right, Becky, see you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye. 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 Oh, there she goes. How fantastic. Let's just select that. There you go. What a great interview. What a great chat. And so many things for us to think about. So many things for us to think about, the things that Becky has said. And if you have just joined us and you missed the live, you want to watch it, maybe there's some things that resonate with you, then you can watch this again, and it will be available for 30 days. And I'll also be putting it on to YouTube. So all my days, it's been busy. I got back into the house at 7:30, quickly ate my dinner, and now we're here. So I'm going to go off now and just declutter, debag, and stuff. But what I'm going to tell you is that, is it Friday? Friday at 4 o'clock, we've got a very special Facebook Live. Okay, it's a special Facebook Live. I'm going to give you more information about it tomorrow. So that will be at 4 o'clock. It's a different time because it's a one-off special. And that is going to be here on Janice Phillips Live. Watch this space. Follow me if you can. And you will receive the news. And I'll put an event out as well. So that's going to be 4 o'clock on Friday, right here, Facebook Live with friends. We have got 2 friends coming on. And it's going to be very special. We've got some big news to tell you. It's some big news that went out today. But I'm not going to tell you who it is, so I'm just going to keep you in suspenders for a while. And I'll put the news out tomorrow, which is Thursday. This day is whizzing by, and I've probably got some more news for you as well. So thank you very much for watching. Shirley said, definitely an interesting interview, learned so much. Thank you, Janet and Becky. Yeah, she's fantastic, isn't it? It's always good to learn something new. So thank you for watching. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you guys Friday, 4 o'clock, special Facebook Live with friends. I hope you can make it, but I will remind you all. See you later.